We had a little problem on the way out of town yesterday. These lights started to come on, and I had to disconnect the little wire that works all that, because it was locking up my brakes for either anti-lock brakes or skid control. I don't know which, but so we're driving with the little lights on, which isn't very pleasant, but it's what happens. And I'm glad I knew what it was, and I kind of knew what it was. It was the anti-lock braking system. I figured it was a sensor or maybe a bad wheel bearing hub. So the shop suggested that I could only get that part from the dealer, and that it would be smart to have the dealer check the system out anyways to make sure that it was the sensor and not like a broken wire or something like that. So I went over to the dealer and I told him it was the rear ABS sensor on the left, and they gave me a lot of grief, told me I didn't have any clue what it was if I didn't have their equipment. And I said, well, okay, well, check it out and fix it for me. So as you can see on the bill here, they charged me $247 to scope the car and do exactly what I said already had been done. And then they charged me $144 for the part. Now I'll show you the part on the internet is 80 bucks. And then they charged me an additional $400, $391 for labor for putting this part on. Now, so really they're charging me $600 and almost 50 bucks, almost 650 bucks labor for finding out what's wrong and changing a part. Now, I can see where maybe some parts, like you changing a transmission or something like that, would be a little bit of a pain in the neck. But let me show you this part. Okay, this is the part. This is the sensor that goes on my wheel, and right here is the sensor tip. It bolts to the wheel like that. This goes up over the axle and plugs in. It just plugs in, clips on here, clips on over here. But this just goes onto the wheel like that, and you put one bolt in it, and that holds it. Next to the wheel, there's a gear right here that spins around as the wheel turns, and this senses motion. And so the guy had to unscrew this bolt, pull this off, put the new one on, screw the bolt back in, and he was done. Well, he had to plug it in. Okay, he had to plug it in, and I think that should have taken him about 15 minutes. So these guys are charging me $400 for 15 minutes of work. Let me show you where this is. Okay, this is the piece that you can see there. This piece right here. And as you can see, this is my socket set going onto that bolt. I can really easily get on that bolt and unscrew that bolt and take that little sensor off of there. It just measures the rotations on this gear that goes around the wheel. But I'm laying on the ground, and it's easy to get to this. I can't imagine how easy this is to do in a lift. But that's the sensor, and that was worth $400 just to turn that little tiny bolt there and pull that out of there. That's why people don't like car dealers, because they screw you every chance they get. Let's see if I can get another angle on that. See? There's the thing. There's the sensor. Right there. Just bring in the bolt, the thing, Put it on that bolt and unscrew it. I don't want to unscrew it since I just paid $600 to put it in. But you understand what I'm talking about. Oops. So, that's why people hate car dealers. Just in case you were wondering. Now, just so you don't think I'm being crazy, here is the Auto Parts Warehouse, one of the best places to buy auto parts. If you do your own work, you know, and you have a day or two to wait for them to deliver this stuff, here is that sensor right here, the same sensor I had. It's $84.77. And I don't know if you, I think if you spend a certain amount of money, it's free shipping. But let's add another $10 for shipping that one little wire. And so we'll bring it up to $100 with tax and everything. So why did they charge me $144? I mean, it's the same part. It's not anything unique. Okay, here it is. I changed to Autozone. If you're familiar with Autozone, they always call their stuff Duralast. So these are Duralast ABS sensors for my car. See at the top, it says 2006 Ford Truck Explorer 4-wheel drive. Here's one for $68.99. Here's another one for $64.99. I'm not sure that's the right one. The other one is. This one, for some reason, is $167. It says the same thing. It's a lifetime warranty. So the one that Ford installs does not have a lifetime warranty, obviously. They charged me for it, or, you know, if this one ever went bad again, I could take it back. It's the car dealer charged $144, more than twice the price. And AutoZone's no real cheap place. They're just local. I could have got it at that. They had it locally. I just was too lazy to get under the car and change it. But I don't really expect to be screwed that much. So, let's go look at the car. I'll just add to that the ridiculousness of that $650 bill for doing that one little sensor. I also asked them to do my spark plugs because the engine has 120,000 miles on it and the spark plugs are originals. So you see here, it says customer states spark plugs replacement, replace spark plugs. They charged me $6 for spark plugs. That's a very reasonable price. $36 total for 6 spark plugs. He had to crawl into the engine, unhook the wires, get the spark plugs out of there. I was afraid they were going to break because they'd been in there so long. The total labor for doing 6 spark plugs was $206. Now, again, that's excessive. It didn't take him a whole hour to pull 6 spark plugs out of an engine, unless he had to drill one out. And I have all the spark plugs, and they were not in great condition, but I probably could have got them out without any problem. I just was too lazy and too afraid to try. But 6 spark plugs, $200 labor, one tiny little bolt, $650 labor. Really quite ridiculous. All right, consider yourself warned about dealing with dealerships. Have a great week.